My name is Piotr Święcicki, and I work at Worldwide School, and I'd like to welcome you all in this webinar, Idioms, to talk about feelings. Before we start, I'd like you to let me know if you can hear me, so please use the chat. It's 2 levels below the place where you can see me. If you look at the chat area, there's a little rectangle where you can type your hello, or I can hear you, Piotr, all right? So hello, Janusz, hello, Bożena, and the meeting. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining me, and your answers, which are numerous, mean that we can start. Excellent. All right, so let's do this. The subject, as you all know, is idioms, and idioms with which we can talk about feelings. I have divided my talk into 3 sections. We will talk about idioms which describe happiness and sadness, and also anger. So we will start with happiness, which sounds like a good thing to start with, actually. I'm really happy that you're here and that I have the opportunity to talk to you. So we'll have a bunch of idioms in each of those sections, but I will also tell you a little bit about the history of those idioms and the ways in which you will be able to remember them better. So we'll explore some ways to make those idioms more memorable. I'll give you a few tips how to learn these and other idioms. So let's get started. My idea to show you these 20, 30 idioms is to illustrate them with some photographs, with some images, but many of the idioms are metaphors. Okay, so let's have a look at the first image. That's the young woman listening to something on her headphones. So maybe this music, this idiom, it helps you to express about something. Any idea which idiom I might have in mind? The word music is in it. All right, anyone? There's the word music, there's also the word ears, and, well, just to get us going, I'll show you what the idiom is. It is music to somebody's ears, okay? You use it to express feeling of pleasure that you can hear something, right? Just like in the example, the boss has said, we can all go home earlier today. Wow, that's music to my ears. Great news. So as you can see, we've got very nice illustration and a little bit of a metaphor, right? Music to your ears, the feeling of pleasure. And it's really music to my ears to see so many of you. There are more than 50 people here, and I can see that some others are coming. So let's take a look at the next slide. My question to you is, what can you see in this photograph? A little tip I can give you, that it's a fruit. Okay, so please use the chat, and you can do that pretty well, to tell me what the fruit is. It's a peach. Very good. Okay. Do you know any idiom which has the word peach in it? Anyone? Or maybe a phrase? You don't. Excellent news. Music to my ears, because I'm able to teach you that idiom. So this is how it goes. To be peachy. Okay. Peaches are known as delicious fruit, right? Sweet and refreshing, especially on a hot summer day. So if you feel peachy or if you are peachy, well, you're feeling fine, sometimes even more than fine. Hey, how are you doing? Oh, I'm peachy. This means I'm feeling great. Be careful though, because you can also come across a similar line, I'm feeling peachy or I'm peachy, used ironically. Imagine a situation in which someone is asking you this question, how are you feeling? And you're feeling terrible. And you just want to be ironic. Okay, so you say, I'm just feeling peachy, which means something else, but it's used ironically. Okay, so that's our second phrase, to be peachy. Now, now we'll have a series of idioms which can associate with with some with nature, right? Okay, let's call it nature. Let's call it sky. Just like in the photograph which you can see right now. Okay, it's a shame it's evening because we can't see the sky, we can't see the clouds, but they're still there, of course. Now the cloud which you can see here, I think it's called cumulonimbus, but I'm not sure because I'm not an expert in clouds. But in the 19th century, an expert on clouds wrote an atlas of clouds in which he classified 10 types of clouds. And cloud number 9 was cumulonimbus. And for some strange reason, we have an idiom which goes like this: to be on cloud 9, which means to be extremely happy and excited. I'm on cloud 9. There are so many of you here, and I can talk to you about idioms, one of my favorite subjects. Just like in the example, was Helen pleased about getting that job? Pleased? She was on cloud 9. So why cloud 9? Not really sure, but there is some theory which says that it's because of that cloud atlas, in which cumulonimbus, supposedly a happy cloud, was number 9. Of course, you can say that you're in the seventh heaven. We have a very similar idiom in Polish. And that goes back to Dante, I guess, maybe, Divine Comedy, the circles of hell and the circles of heaven. Seventh heaven, cloud 9, more or less the same. Okay, one more question to you guys. What is this woman doing? She's walking. How? Definitely she's not walking on the grass. Maybe she's jumping. Actually, she's walking. Okay, got an answer here. Maybe she's jumping, Kasia. Yeah, maybe. But I guess a more appropriate way to say what she's doing is she's walking on air, right? And that's another very nice idiom with which you can describe the feeling of extreme excitement or happiness. Walking on air. After the birth of her daughter's baby, Janice was walking on air. Right, she was on cloud 9 in the seventh heaven, walking on air. So you can see the metaphor. I guess we sometimes, when we are elated, when we are happy, we sometimes jump, we do strange things. We walk on air. All right. We have a similar image right now. This time it's a man, and looks like a Superman, but he is not. I guess we could say he's flying. You can't see where this is happening and how high he is. And by saying high, I don't mean he's on drugs. Does anybody know the idiom? Right? There is definitely the word fly in it. Okay, there's an answer, and the answer says fly high. Yeah, yeah, you're on the right track. That's the idiom. To be flying high, to be excited and happy. After getting the job at KPMG, he was flying high. So as you can see, we have a similar metaphor, right? Flying, walking on air. It seems that being airborne has something to do with being happy. But maybe that's the way we humans, right? When we are happy, we jump, we fly, we walk on air. Okay. Now, the next thing I've got for you is kind of related, but the metaphor and the story behind this idiom goes way back to, I guess, maybe also 19th century, maybe the beginnings of 20th century, to a poem for children. Probably it was a nursery rhyme, in which one of the lines said about a cow, a happy cow, jumping over the moon. Now, this is all I can tell you. You have a cow and you have the moon. So, does anybody know the idiom? The idiom, the meaning of the idiom is to be, again, just like with the rest of them, to be very, very happy. No? Okay. I'm on cloud nine because I can teach you that idiom. So it's to be over the moon, right? This means to be very pleased. She was over the moon with her new bike. Here, as you can see, the metaphor is a little bit far-fetched. The story is a little bit twisted because it's related to a poem. We don't have anything similar in Polish, I think. But if you could just try to associate the image of the happy cow and the moon, it's so absurd that maybe it will become memorable to you. All right, it's a happy cow. It's a cow which belongs to a farmer who is a vegetarian. Right? So she's a happy cow. Okay, now two questions in one. Question number one: who does that nice, happy smile belong to? Okay, can you identify the person in the picture? And the second question is, do you know any other words for smile? Okay, to smile, that's one thing in English, but do you know any other words for smile? You know, there are lots of types of smiling in English, and this is one of them. You show your teeth like that. All right. So, oh, Dominique, this is not Sting. I guess the guy is also quite handsome, just like Sting, but it's not Sting. So keep working, people. Who is the guy here? And what about the other word for smile? Okay, really? You don't know it? Well, you'll find out soon. First, let's take care of the idiom. All right. First things first. Another word for smile is grin. Okay, and this is the smile you can see here in this picture. This person is grinning. So if you grin from ear to ear, or if you smile from ear to ear, you look extremely happy. You've had a fantastic response, he said. Grinning from ear to ear. I guess in Polish, there's something pretty much similar. So that's a very easy way to remember it, right? You can use also the word smile if you prefer, but you can also use a word which is a little bit more advanced, and that is grin. Let me take a look at the chat box. Ha! Julita and Grzegorz. You guessed it correctly. This is Harrison Ford. How did you know that? What's so special special about that grin? Is it the chin? Is it the teeth? Is it the earring or the wrinkles? But that's definitely Harry's hole. Okay, so he's grinning from ear to ear. Why? I don't know. Maybe he's just learned about the fifth episode of Indiana Jones, and maybe he got an offer. Okay, so these are the idioms we used to talk about happiness, grinning from ear to ear, to be over the moon, and to be flying high, to walk on air, to be on cloud nine, to feel or to be peachy. Something is music to your ears. And now it's time to do a little bit of revision. The way we'll do this little revision is I'll show you some pictures, the ones we've just seen, actually, and I'll ask you to come up with the idiom. Okay, so here comes the first picture. And now please use the chat. What is the idiom? Do you remember? All right. By the way, Mateusz, I can see your question. You will get all those idioms in the PDF in a few days' time, if not tomorrow, but probably not tomorrow, probably on Monday, from my colleague Maciej Pachnicki. He will send it to you with some more info in the email. All right. So that's music to your ears. Thank you, Lita. Thank you, Mateusz, and others. Very nice. Music to your ears. It's music to my ears when I see. I'm not sure if this is appropriate. It's to say that it's music to my ears when I see so many responses, but probably you can say that. All right. What about them? Exactly. What about this one? Which idiom does this picture illustrate? Anyone? The word cow is not in it, by the way. To be over the moon. Excellent. Thank you, Lita, and thank you, Mateusz. All right. To be over the moon. Be very pleased about something. Like the cow, maybe she's over the moon when she's learned that there are so many vegans in Poland and the community is growing. Right? She's over the moon about this. Okay, and just one more before we move on to the next section about anger. And which idiom is that? Something related with the clouds, right? To be on cloud nine. Thank you, Małgosia. Thank you, Dominik and Bożena. To be on cloud nine. Right. Actually, I'm on cloud nine because we can move on to the next section. We can forget about happiness and we can talk about another emotion, which is anger. Okay, but before that, I'll just show you the additional info here. Be on cloud nine. So goodbye, cumulonimbus, and welcome, anger. Right. To be honest, at this time of the day, I have nothing to be angry about. So I don't know. Let's just have a look at the idioms. The first one, the first one is diabolic. In a way, do you know what I mean? Do you know any phrases in English which contain the word either diabolic or maybe the place where the devil lives or dwells, which is hell? All right, I can see some answers. Okay, hell. But how do you use the word hell? Like hell with you, or go to hell. Yes, go to hell without the Ivan. Okay, so I think I can teach you a new one where the devil says good night. That's very creative, Adrian. Okay. I think where the devil says good night, which sounds like a direct translation from Polish, could be in the middle of nowhere in English. All right. This one is fairly simple. from hell. It was a week from hell. Or Miranda has the housemaid from hell, and John has a mother-in-law from hell, right? So something is very or extremely bad from hell. Completely unlike this webinar and this audience. You are not an audience from hell. Quite the opposite. Although I can't see you and I can't hear you, you seem like good folks. So let's move on to the next one. What is that object? I guess it's a naive question. Maybe it's a stupid question. But let's go ahead and see what you write. It's a rocket. Yeah, this is no rocket science. It's a rocket. True. It's more than a rocket. I think it's. I think I have taken this from a Wikipedia page on ballistic rockets. I did some efforts and I checked what ballistic means. Ballistic means that this type of rocket has a special trajectory, a ballistic trajectory. So it does not only move upwards, it moves along this, ballistic trajectory until it meets its target and does a lot of damage, unfortunately. Why am I talking about this? Because there's just one more idiom which you can use to describe angriness, yes, to go ballistic, to become extremely angry. If your dad finds out we've been skipping school, he'll go ballistic. Now, when was the last time you went ballistic? You can ask yourselves this question. But that's a very nice metaphor. I hope you'd agree, right? To go ballistic. All right. Got one more for you. We're still talking about anger. And what's in this picture? This should be moving, This should be moving. We're looking through the microscope. And what are these? Do we have any doctor in the house? Yes, right. This is blood. So, when we're angry, blood in our veins is boiling, right? So that's the idiom. Somebody or something can make your blood boil. The way they have treated those people makes blood boil, right? I go ballistic every time I hear this. So, makes your blood boil. That's one more nice, one more. We have a very nice metaphor in here. Blood boiling, anger. You ready for the next one? Let's do it. Okay. So what is this thing here? It's a damaged roof. Why is it damaged? Well, maybe something or someone hit the roof, right? I'm not sure which way it was. Maybe from the living room. Who knows? Anyway, the idiom goes like this: to hit the roof. It means to be very angry. One more time. When I was expelled from school, my parents hit the roof. A little confession. This sentence could be about me, the person saying these words. When I was, I guess, 12 or 13, I was expelled from school. Do you know what this means? Do you know what this meant for me? I had to leave my school because I was a very bad student. And I guess I was so naughty that I had to change the school. I was just expelled from it. So my parents, did they hit the roof? I guess so. I guess so. Go ballistic, hit the roof. Something makes your blood boil. And finally, but I think there are just two more on our way. We have this idiom, right? Strange image. You can see the face. You can see the redness. Do you know what the idiom is? It means exactly the same as to go ballistic, to hit the roof, to make your blood boil. It's a very easy one, actually, to see red. Red color, right? Just like a red rag to bull, right? When you see red, you become very angry. So people who don't finish a job really make me see red. I guess everybody has an example like that from your own life, right? Something makes you see red. Bad driving, um, impolite waitresses or waiters. Yeah. Okay. And the last idiom here in this category is this one, right? What is it? Another red brick wall. Yeah. So it's a brick wall, and the idiom behind it, actually maybe in front of it, is to drive somebody up the wall, to make someone extremely angry. My flatmate is driving me up the wall. Driving me up wall, right? Or pushing you up the wall. So these are the idioms with which we can express anger. Let's try to recall the images. We had the rocket, right, to go ballistic. We saw the redness, to see red, blood boiling. What else was there? There was the hellish one, right? Something is from hell. And parents, when they heard about my problems at school, right? They hit the roof, and that's it. And it's time for exercises. Actually, just a series of 3 exercises. So the image in here, please use the chat to tell me which idiom I have in mind in here. To go ballistic, very nice. Okay. Let's go ballistic. Thank you very much for your answers. Now, what about this one? Do you still remember the idiom related to this tissue, right? Okay, maybe it could be see red, Dominique. It's seeing red, but it's more about, I think I wanted to show you here blood boiling, all right? Blood boiling, and now everything's clear. What about this one? To see red, right? As you can see, some of your wrong answers did not make my blood boil. I didn't see red. We're in the learning process, so you have nothing to worry about. You all did very well. You're ready to move on to the next chapter here, which is sadness and tension. Okay, idioms with which you can describe sadness and tension. Actually, it's difficult for me to talk to you about sadness and tension because I'm neither sad or tense. But maybe one day they will come in handy. So here's the first one. What can you see here? A ship that is sinking. Okay. Do you know any idiom which has the word sinking in it? Let's see. You don't know. That's very good news to me because I can teach you this idiom. Actually, it's more of a phrase. To have a sinking, you can see the image, feeling, right? Feeling that something bad is happening or will happen. He had a sinking feeling he would fail the test. All right? Can you picture this? Sinking feeling, going down in the dumps, right? Okay, let's leave it. And let's move on to the next slide in here. And in this slide, you can see sticks. right? A bunch of, or a bundle of sticks, actually. Lots of metaphors with sticks. You know, one stick, you can break it very easily, but you have a bundle of sticks, it's really much harder to break it. Lots of metaphors related to that. But this one contains only the word bundle. Okay. So you have this picture because I couldn't find a picture illustrating a bundle of nerves. So if you are a bundle of nerves, you're extremely nervous or worried about something. Sorry for shouting. I'm a bundle of nerves these days. I guess this happens to everybody, right? Unless you do a lot of meditation and yoga and, you know, you are extremely calm. But sometimes everybody is a bundle of nerves, right? Okay. So to be a bundle of nerves, to be extremely nervous or worried. And something that I immediately thought about when I thought about, you know, being a bundle of nerves is this. So what do you see here? What are those objects? There are two types of objects in that slide. Come on, please tell me what they are. Needles and pins. Okay, and can anyone try to combine these two words, needles and pins, and come up with an idiom, which means to be very anxious, but not meaning excited, but just nervous about a situation. Okay, don't worry, I can help you here just by clicking the next slide. To be on pins and needles, all right? This means to be anxious and tense, just like in the example. Why is Harry pacing up and down the corridor? You remember last time you were outside the doctor's office, right? Or outside waiting for your turn to get into the exam room, right? Pacing up and down. She's waiting for the doctor to call with her test results. So she's been on pins and needles all day. We have something similar in Polish, but I can't remember what it is. But anyway, I still think you can see the meaning behind it, right? To be on pins and needles. Okay, one more. What is it? Because the image is quite big, and I'm not really sure if this will be clear to siedzieć jak na szpilkach. Exactly, right. And this is not about high-heeled shoes, right? No. Okay, so what about this image? Top of wine bottle. Yes. And what's inside this wine bottle? What do you call this thing inside it? Because that's the key here, the key word. You have the bottle, but in order to drink the liquid which is inside, you need to, right? Oh, come on, it's called cork, right? Okay, so the idiom goes like this. Cork something up. If you cork up your feelings or emotions, you fail to express them. So this is not really desirable, I think. When you feel anger, show it. When you feel sadness, show it. Don't cork it up. It would be better if she showed her grief and didn't cork up her feelings. I guess it's healthier this way, right? Easier said than done for some people, right? So corked up, another nice metaphor. All right, just two more idioms, and I'll almost let you go. Yes, It's not a happy fish, right? She's not over the moon. Why? Because she's not in. Well, why am I saying she? Because maybe it's a fish called Wanda, right? So it's because Wanda is not in her natural habitat, right? She's out of water. And that's the idiom. A fish out of water is someone who is uncomfortable in a specific situation, right? So it's something I cannot really say about myself right now because I'm quite comfortable with you guys on the other side and me on this side. But let's just imagine I'm doing this for the first time, or I'm doing this on Skype, which I don't know. So I felt like a fish out of water when I did my first webinar on Skype. Can you do this on Skype anyway? I felt like a fish out of water at my new school. You remember they expelled me, so then I had to change the school, and I felt like a fish out of water. New friends, new teachers, new rules. Okay. And finally, because it's almost Friday and weekend is coming, and I hope it's not going to be that kind of weekend. But that's the idiom, okay? To have a face like a wet weekend. You know, to look and feel miserable. Colin has a face like a wet weekend because his girlfriend dumped him. Don't worry, Colin, you'll find another, or she will find you. To have a face like a wet weekend. All right? So that's it. Let's sum it up. We started with, what was it? Sinking feeling. I have a sinking feeling we will have to finish our webinar in about 5 minutes time. So right now, I'm a bundle of nerves, and you guys are probably sitting on pins and needles, waiting for me to finish. But don't cork it up. Say something if you want on the chat, right? I really can't say anything about fish out of water and the word weekend, but that's it, right? Okay, time for a short test. So what's the idiom here? Okay, it's you know, when you're yeah, thank you, Anna, and thank you, Monica. It's you have a sinking feeling that something bad is going to happen. Very nice. Okay, and what about this one? So by the way, Dominique, it's feeling, not feelings, right? To be on pins and needles, right? Not very nice to be on, actually. Thank you very much, everyone. And the last one in that series of exercises are those sticks or nerves, and these are bundles of nerves. So what's your spelling, Yulita? All right. These are bundles of nerves. Excellent. All right. So I don't want you to sit by me finishing so early. So I've decided to give you some extra practice. Okay. So in this one, you will have to correct some sentences, just like this one. The laptop was so cheap, I was on cloud 7. What's wrong with that word? Phrase, sentence. Okay. Of course, it's not cloud 7, but cloud 9, cumulonimbus, right? Very nice. Good job. What about this sentence? What you're doing makes my brain boil. brain boil. Blood boil. Thank you, Małgosia. Very good. This is about blood boiling. Very nice. I found him outside his teacher's office. He was on razors and nails. So what's wrong with that one? On pins and needles, Małgosia. You are the first one more time. All right. He was on pins and needles. Okay. One more. She went rocketing when she found out about the report. So what's wrong with this one? She went ballistic. All right. Ivan, very nice. She went ballistic. All right. And one more. Guess that's the last one. But don't worry, I have one more exercise for you. So maybe this is music to your brains? No, this is not music to your brains. This is music to your ears, right? Okay. Thank you. All right. You're past this stage, at least, because there's one more in which you will have to come up with the missing words. Okay? So let's just revise it, 100%. I want to be 100% sure that you remember those idioms. So what is the missing word? Laptop was so cheap, I was on cloud 9. Thank you. What you're doing makes my blood. Already told you that, right? My blood boil. Sorry. Okay. That will not happen ever again. I hope you didn't see red. I found him outside his teacher's office. He was on drugs? No. He was on pins and needles. Right. Thank you, Anna, Małgosia, and Ivan, and Bożena. All right. Okay. He was on pins and needles. And finally, I'm not sure if this is the final one. No, not yet. She went when she found out about the report. She went out? No, she went ballistic. Watch out, you're spelling, Ivan. She went ballistic when she found out about the report. Okay. And finally, what you do, what you say is music to my, nose. I'm sorry, ears. Of course, ears. Right. Excellent job. So that's the way you do it, right? That's the way you can learn new idioms. Sometimes those idioms are, just like I said before, metaphors in themselves, right? Just like going ballistic or, making your blood boil, and I don't know, flying high, right? Walking on air. But if you want to enhance your memory, right, or your association between the idiom and something else, it's nice to have a picture of it. Like it's nice to imagine a picture or to associate it with it, just like we did. So every time you learn something new, actually, you can try to make a mini association with something else that will help you remember this thing better. Very often, funny things or things related to sexual life of humans help. All right, so try this. You want to learn a new word, make an association with sex, and it's gonna stick pretty hard. Okay, so I guess we can call it a day. It was an enormous pleasure talking to you guys. I wish we could talk face to face, and I wish I could hear your voices, but that's the convention of the webinar. Maybe one day we'll meet in a virtual classroom, similar environment, but maybe you become one of my students, because Worldwide School does virtual classrooms, not only webinars, and we also do traditional face-to-face lessons. So I'd like to encourage you, if you're not one of our students, to call us or send us an email, and we'll give you all the information needed to start courses with us. Anyway, just like I said before, Maciek Pachnicki, my colleague, will send you some more info about our school and today's webinar. There will be an attachment, a very nice PDF file with all the idioms we talked about. All right, so because I don't want you to go ballistic, because it's 10 to 8, I'll just say thank you one more time. See you soon, and goodbye. Okay, thanks. It's very nice talking to you. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Kasia, Mateusz, Ivan, Anya, and so many others. All right. See ya.